What's going on, everybody? Packer Plug back with another video. And today we're going to be discussing, is it time to panic with Jordan Love? This is a real question. I think is on a lot of people's minds. And I'm going to start by saying this. I don't think it's absolutely time to start panicking with him. I still think he's a really good quarterback, okay? Now, obviously, he has some concerning issues with these interceptions. He had that concerning pick six in the Lions game. He had a concerning pick six against the Rams in LA. And this season so far, he has 10 interceptions, a couple of which haven't been his fault, a couple of which have been horrible decisions by him. Balls that you shouldn't even throw. The one over the middle earlier in the season to Christian Watson. Christian Watson gets blown up. Horrible 50-50 ball. Another 50-50 ball over the top in desperation to Romeo Doubs early in the season. Horrible decision. So after this Lions game, it's obviously a conversation of, is it time to panic? Is it time to worry? Is Jordan Love not who we thought he was? We gave him the biggest contract in NFL history. Is it time to hit the panic button? I'm here to tell you no. It's not time to hit the panic button. Everyone needs to slow down. You need to remember also, this is the best team in the NFL, the Lions. Give them their credit. The Lions are the best team in the NFL objectively. Now, that doesn't mean that these interceptions aren't 100% on Jordan. They absolutely are. But Jordan can be very explosive. The question is, can he learn from these things and fix them and correct them and be better because of them? He's a gunslinger. So he puts the ball at risk a lot, especially this season. And I truly believe that he is being coached into being a little bit more aggressive with the ball. It's why you saw those touchdowns in the beginning of the season, because even though he's missed 2 games, 15 touchdowns, because he's slinging the ball around. He knows he can. He knows he got a lot of studs at receiver. This game didn't work. And there was also a lot of drop passes. It's not all on him, but a lot of it is on him. And I think if you're panicking and saying maybe it's time because Malik Willis keeps the ball safe, sure, but Malik Willis isn't throwing 15 touchdowns. Malik Willis keeps the ball safe, absolutely. And Jordan needs to do that more. And you hear the comparisons. He's a lot like Brett Favre. He throws a lot of interceptions, and I think because of that, yes, we're going to see a lot of heartbreaking games where it's just like it's going to cost us games. But it's also the reason why we're in games. Like, I think as Packer fans, we've become so unaware of what it's like to not even have a good quarterback that take Jordan Love out and put whatever other quarterback we can find right now, we're not going to be doing as well. Jordan Love is the reason we are in these games in the first place. He's the reason a lot of these wins we've won, because he goes in there and he throws 3 touchdowns. He throws 4 touchdowns. He's a big part of the success to this team. But yes, you do want to see him tone down these interceptions, and I think it needs to be a conversation of Jordan you need to tone back the 50-50 balls. You need to tone back the just trying to dump it to Josh Jacobs when you don't see a guy coming across. Throw it in the dirt. There's nothing wrong with taking it. I'd rather have a sack and a ball in the dirt than a pick six the other way. I'd rather have had that safety against LA for 2 points rather than that forced ball for a pick six in LA. I'd just rather have the 2-point safety. I'd rather have the sack on 3rd down or on 4th down. There's nothing worse than a pick or a pick six. Take the sack. Take the safety. Okay? And I mentioned this in the last video, but Aaron Rodgers' advice to Jordan Love when he was on Pat McAfee a year ago was ball security is job security. And that's not to say I think Jordan Love should lose his job or not be the starter. That's absolute nonsense. We're not at that point yet. The interceptions are alarming, but we're not at that point yet. I think, yes, he needs to tone it down. He needs to keep the ball safe because it can cost games. And it did play a big part in costing us this game against the Lions. It was a giant momentum swing. You get the pick six back. You get McManus making that field goal. You get Dontavian Wicks catching that touchdown pass that he dropped. Granted, Jordan Love threw it behind, and he has accuracy issues too. You're ahead in that game. Those 3 plays. Those are 3 plays you could look at that made a huge difference in the game. And Jordan Love needs to be better. The accuracy needs to improve. I see a lot of people saying, well, he hasn't improved since last year. Yes, but, I do think he's being coached into being a little bit more aggressive. I think he's being coached into, trying to make the plays happen, and that's why you saw the explosive touchdowns. It's just a matter of now going on this next 5-game stretch. Are the Packers able to turn it around, right? Turn it around over the next 5 games, get it together, and go on a run where you can get back in stride with these with these young receivers. We saw it in previous weeks. We saw it against Houston. We saw it against Arizona. We saw it against LA. We saw it a little against Jacksonville, right? Even though he was hurt. Pulled out the game. Jordan Love didn't play well, but the team got it done. This is Detroit. So that's what don't panic. If you're a Packer fan, you're panicking on Jordan Love saying, bench him, get him out of here, let's get Malik in. You're jumping the gun. Interceptions, alarming. You're right. Should he keep the ball safer? Yes, you're right. But I'd say it's way too early to start saying Jordan Love, not worth it, overrated, throws too many picks, and this is who he is? No. He's a young quarterback. And it's a sophomore slump moment. But let's see how he gets through this. Because we could go to these next games where it's not against the greatest team in the NFL right now, the Detroit Lions. And he can go right back to playing well, throwing 3-4 touchdowns, and everyone's just going to forget this, right? You know, the thing about Brett is Brett threw a lot of interceptions, right? But Brett threw a lot of touchdowns. So it came with it. And he threw more touchdowns than they threw interceptions, okay? He just did. He was a gunslinger. He made it happen, and he got wins. And that's what you saw with Jordan Love at the beginning of the season. So let's get Jordan Love out of here. Maybe Jordan Love wasn't worth the money. Wait and see. That's what I say. Wait and see. You have a bye week. He was injured. He was coming off an injury. It was a rainy game. There was other elements that went into it. That's not to say those aren't his fault, because it is. It obviously was in LA when he threw that pick six, right? It obviously was when he threw all the other 8 interceptions this season. Yes. But let's just wait and see, right? Before we jump the gun and say, because people didn't really have a problem with it as Packer fans until we lost this game, right? It wasn't the biggest conversation. I think we've kind of ignored it for a while because he's been throwing more touchdowns and he's been winning. So when you're throwing touchdowns, you're winning. Who cares if you throw a pick or two, right? Right? Because you're pulling it out. You're making the plays when they count. You're making them when they matter, and you're winning the game. And that's all that matters. That's why we loved Brett Favre even threw a lot of touchdowns, because he made the plays when it mattered. He made the touchdowns when it mattered more often than he made the interceptions, right? So I don't think it's time to jump the gun, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Should we get rid of Jordan Love like the extremists? We shouldn't do that. But the question is it alarming? Are you worried? And do you think he's been worth the money so far? I think he's growing. I think he's going through a moment that he's going to eventually push through, and this offense will get rolling so they can compete for a championship this season. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment, subscribe, Packer Plug.